The man for the big occasion, Hall of Fame MC, Michael Buffer.
Come on, Liverpool, let's get this party started! Now making his entrance to the ring, please welcome Ilunga Makabu!
Well, here's a man who doesn't seem to be affected by pressure one little bit. Ilunga Makabu coming out to Goodison Park, where he barely has a friend in the stadium. Doesn't even have his regular trainer. Nick Durant has retired. He's picked up Johnny Roy and has done his work in Preston for the last couple of weeks, finishing off. Doesn't seem to be bothered in the one little bit. The big knockout percentage, a southpaw, heavy-handed, durable, tough. The bookies' favourite. Do you think the bookies have got this one right, Jim? Is he that dangerous?
Yeah, he is that dangerous. You look through his record, I mean, he's knocking people out early, he's knocking them out in the middle rounds, and he's stopping them late. So, I mean, that suggests that he's got a really good engine. We know he's a pressure fighter. I would not use the word gifted with him, that's for sure. He's pretty straightforward in his approach and what he does. But you can see already from here the temperament. I mean, where he was born and brought up, these guys live differently from us and look at things differently. He will not be fazed in the slightest by the atmosphere here, not in the slightest. So this is a real tough one for Tony Bellew. He'll need to be his best, but Tony has the skills to outbox this fellow. Boxing is not this man's strong point, so Tony must make this a long-range boxing contest for as long as he can manage that.
Meanwhile, coming out of the home dressing room at Goodison Park, what on earth is going through the mind of Tony Bellew? And just to amplify and talk about what Johnny and the rest of the team were just saying, Dave Caldwell, his trainer, and I had a long conversation a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I want Tony to really enjoy this ring walk, soak it up. He will never have an experience like this again. But then, the moment he gets in the ring, forget about it. Completely wipe it from your memory. So enjoy this, Tony Bellew, and then get down to business. Just look at that. He is about to experience a welcome like no other.
Well, Nick, it's a welcome that puts the pressure on you. I remember being in a similar situation. I don't talk about myself too often in commentary, but boxing at Ibrox Park, I was the underdog that night. When I came out, the place was full of Scotland scarves, and I got the impression it was the country that were expecting me to perform. So this is a lot of pressure for Tony to put up with here. He wants it here, but there's an old saying, be careful what you wish for. There will be a lot of pressure. He has to deal with that, get out of his mind, and keep his mind on the job.
And now, making his entrance to the ring, the Liverpudlian Tony Bellew!
This is not looking good for Bellew at all. He's down it, Bellew on the floor, and it's crisis time now for Tony Bellew.
We're just hearing that Bellew, he's landed his dream world title night at the home of his beloved Everton Football Club.
I'm going to put a ring in the middle of that park and I'm going to fight, and I will fight till the finish. Everything happens for a reason, and it's got me to the place I'm at now.
Oh, that should seal it. Oh, what a gem.
This is as good as I've seen him.
Oh.
Beautiful punch.
Bellew finishing in a storming fashion here.
It's a lot easier to say enough's enough when they're all against you. It's impossible when they're all with you. There's nothing that's going to stop me on that night.
Quiet Hollywood. Whoever would have believed we'd see scenes like this at Goodison Park for real. Two shots, Jim. The first one too early in his career against Nathan Cleverley. The second one at the wrong weight against Adonis Stevenson, an opponent who was just too good. Is this going to be third time lucky at the right weight in his own backyard?
Yeah, I think this is the best chance he will have of winning a world title. I think he's a far better fighter at cruiserweight than he was at light heavyweight. Fight plan and sticking to it is so important tonight against this danger man. Last time out against Adonis Stevenson, the plan was all over the place. He went in with crazy ideas and worked it sadly against him. So he must stick to the plan here, but he looks so relaxed, he looks so confident. He knows that this could be the biggest night of his life. He will give it his best shot, we are sure of that.
Tail of the tape, 33 years old now, his third shot at this. Will there be another one? Makabu, 6 foot, he's shorter, he gives up a lot of reach. Can Bellew make his height and his reach count for him tonight? We look at the number of fights. Makabu, a wrecking ball. Look at that knockout percentage. Only one man has gone the distance with him, and that's why Makabu is the odds-on favourite here, but money has been coming in late on Bellew. 28-1 for the draw, so the bookies say Makabu. Our Sky Sports poll still says Bellew widely. A little shift in the last hour or so, from 72% down to 68%. But the viewers are firmly in Tony Bellew's corner. The money is with Makabu. That is all irrelevant now. In a few moments, it will come down to Tony Bellew and Ilunga Junior Makabu to settle the destination of the WBC cruiserweight title, a belt that is vacant. Liverpool's first stadium fight in 67 years. Let's hope it's been worth the wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's honor these two warriors in the ring with their respective national anthems. First, the anthem for the Democratic People's Republic of Congo. Ladies and gentlemen, God save the Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, from Goodison Park, Liverpool, Mr. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing is proud to present live on Sky Sports the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBC Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by StubHub, Alphabet, JD Sports, and WeBuyAnything.com. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, President and steward in charge for this contest, Charles Giles. And the World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman, Supervisor Mike George. The three judges scoring at ringside. From South Korea, Junbei Lin. From the United States, David Sutherland. And from Canada, Jack Woodburn. And from Scotland, in charge of the action at the bell inside the ring, your referee, Victor Laughlin. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Boxing fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, from Liverpool, England, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red and white, officially weighing in at 14 stone plus 1/2 pound. His professional record stands at 20 fights, 19 victories, including 18 wins by knockout and only 1 defeat. He's from the Democratic People's Republic of Congo, but lives and trains out of Johannesburg, South Africa. He's the WBC Silver Cruiserweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ilunga Makabu! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue and white, official weight 14 stone, 3 pounds, 1 ounce. In 29 fights, he has 26 victories, including 16 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats with 1 draw, and he's undefeated as a cruiserweight. He's the former Commonwealth and British light heavyweight champion, former WBC silver light heavyweight champion, and the reigning European cruiserweight champion. He is the cruiserweight fighting pride of Liverpool, England, Tony Bellew.
Okay guys, you've had your instructions. Remember, obey my commands at all time, defend yourselves at all time. God bless, touch gloves, let's do it. Touch them.
World Championship boxing came to Goodison Park, but that was in the movies. This is real life, and this is the test of Tony Bellew's entire career. Some final words from his trainer, Dave Caldwell. What a terrific partnership they've been. Can Caldwell guide him to a world cruiserweight title? Will Ilunga Makabu shatter the hopes and dreams of the blue half of this city and everybody in this stadium? 12 rounds for the vacant WBC cruiserweight title. Makabu, traditionally a slow starter. And just listen to this atmosphere. But as you said before, Jim, when that bell goes, everything just leaves a boxer's brain except the focus on the opponent. These two fully switched on now. Bellew, as you can see, significantly taller. Can he make that count in his favour? Makabu boxing out of that southpaw stance. Taking it easy, looking to set his traps. He's very heavy-handed, he likes to counter. Bellew's got to be very careful, very patient, says Dave Caldwell. You take one risk with this fella. If it backfires, it could be good night.
Well, he's trying to take the initiative early, Bellew, which is a good sign. But it depends how good this fellow is at manoeuvring opponents. You know, he's got the southpaw stance. The first thing Bellew wants to do is move him in a clockwise direction, because he wants to move to his own right-hand side, get outside Bellew's jab. So how good he is at manoeuvring opponents. This is good from Bellew. You know, he's concentrating, he's thinking what he's doing, but he's using the right hand early. Everybody believes the right hand is the answer against the southpaw. I think the left hook is the one, but whatever works.
Well, that's something Dave Caldwell said. Part of the game plan is they've got to stay busy with that left hand. Not necessarily offensively, but just defensively. Use it as a rangefinder, use it to block. Always keep busy with that left hand. That's the mantra that's just been drummed into Bellew throughout the training camp. That left hand has got to work, and it's got to do the job. Makabu just raiding a little bit here. Bellew looking to land the right hand.
Yeah, I think the fact that Bellew is trying to use the right hand this early in the fight is a good sign. Yeah, he's got the physical advantages and he's using them. Makabu getting into a little bit of a shell, trying to draw him close. Yep, yeah, I like the attitude of Bellew. He's thinking what he's doing here.
And Makabu against the ropes, then comes out again. But you'll see this with Makabu on tape, but these are nice, solid, hurtful punches that are coming in from Bellew. And Makabu is shipping a lot of punishment here. Hooks to the body, right hands upstairs. Bellew's got to keep his head, though. He's dangerous like that! The left hand spun him over right on the bell.
I want to look at his eyes here, and I don't think there was a damaging shot. The fact that he didn't crumple to the floor, he tumbled over. But that scores it a big round to Makabu.
That is exactly what Dave Caldwell was saying. You can't fall into this fella's traps. He will set them.
Right, listen, good shot. Listen, big deep breaths, big deep breaths. You got greedy. You got greedy, you forgot about defence. I'm going to body shot. Yes, I know, but you got...
See, I think Makabu was quite happy to let Tony whale away at him when he was in the corner there, because he was close enough and he was offering an opportunity. Look how quick that left hand was. Tony got up straight away, looked to the corner, so he's not badly stunned. And the fact that he was bowled over, almost on a somersault, suggests that it caught him square-footed. It wasn't a punishing shot. If his legs had gone and he'd crumbled to the floor, then we're worrying. But look at that, that's getting caught square-footed, losing your concentration, but not a punishing punch that he has to discover to recover from.
No, he got up and he was annoyed with himself. But that undid all that good work. But Bellew's got to learn from that. He's had a bit of damage around the nose of Bellew as well. A bit of blood there, not quite sure. Keep an eye on that. Round two then, a dramatic opening session. Bellew doing a lot of good work. Makabu coming up with a left hand on the bell, and yeah, that nose is bleeding.
He looks to have a puncher's patience, doesn't he? He knows he's not in any hurry. 12 rounds is a long time. Other chances are going to present themselves. And the southpaw stance is just another awkwardness that Bellew could be doing without, I'm sure. Makabu maybe not all that easy to catch as we thought. And he looked at during the introductions, he was skipping about on his feet. He looks pretty mobile as well, Makabu. I expected him to be a bit more flat-footed being the puncher, but this is a tough job for Big Tony.
And he is very happy just to settle back like this, as we've seen. He sets traps. Bellew's walked into one, got away with it, albeit with some damage to the nose.
Got to get to work in this round, Bellew. You know, he's got the jab, he's got an excellent jab. I mean, that was a shaker, been knocked. The last thing you want is disaster in the opening round, and that's what he got. But he's very circumspect, obviously, throughout the second round here.
And so much for Makabu being the slow starter, which he has been in some of his recent fights. Took ages to get going when he won his eliminator against Makunu. Now he's bleeding from the nose as well, Makabu definitely got caught with something.
Yeah, they're both showing each other an awful lot of respect in this round. No one really putting their stamp on this round, are they?
Bellew, quite rightly, reluctant to get drawn into anything. He won't get greedy again, to use Coldwell's words. That was what he said to him when he went back to the ring. The corner there, Coldwell, he said, you got greedy. He knows it.
Well, a couple of solid shots that have landed have come from Bellew.
Now he's just got to back off and regroup. More blood coming from the nose. That was a good little burst there from Bellew in a round that's been as quiet as this. That might just edge it in his favour.
Yep, just keeps his concentration.
Breathe for me. Sit down. See, listen to me. Be patient. Don't be leaning over your front foot into him, because he's going to catch you with your counter. That's what he's trying to get you to do, fall short. Right? Book it. You understand what I'm saying? You won that round because you were patient, and then you caught me before you got into rolls, you went fast, and you went again. Listen, win the fight. Don't be thinking about entertaining people. Win the fight. Do you understand?
A host of Evertonians past and present at ringside, including this man, David Moyes, long-term manager here at Everton. Had a lot of good years with this football club. And you would think a very welcome figure back here at ringside, looking on with some concern. Round 3 then of this 12-rounder. While we were away, David Coldwell said, don't think about entertaining this crowd, think about winning the fight. That is spot-on advice.
Well, someone is going to have to show just a little bit more adventure than we saw in the second round, but with so much at stake, and the fact that Bellew's already been on the floor, so you can't blame him for being a little bit careful in there.
Looking to stay busy with that left hand, whether it's throwing out the jabs, whether it's blocking, whether it's hooking. He's got to stay active with that. Nice little right to the body there. Makabu very much on the front foot. Bellew does land the hook. Makabu backing up and getting out of trouble. Bellew's got to stay patient here, though. He's been here before, but Makabu blocking, covering.
But if he's leaning back, he's not going to get power in these shots, but he's heavy-handed. That was a good left hook he got home with. The good work from Bellew, but he's taken too many chances
He's
now.
got to be careful. Solid shots by Makabu. Looks like he's in serious trouble now. Is this it? The legs are buckled. Bellew's going for it. Bellew flat out here. What's Makabu got? He's in trouble. He's stopped. Bellew's done it. Everton, Goodison Park goes berserk. He's destroyed Makabu, who's still on the floor and in some distress. Bellew doesn't know it, his team don't know it. Now they've realised. Because Makabu right in front of us is flat out sprawled on this ring.
Well, nobody saw that coming. Makabu was leaning back in the ropes against when he was in the corner, and Tony just let it go. I think he knew if his weight was back, there was no power in his shots. Bomber Bellew, well, he's proved it tonight.
You are not kidding. He's always said his power at cruiserweight is real. We wondered if Makabu was setting those traps again, and he's still down, and we keep our fingers crossed that this is precautionary. But no, Bellew got to him, he hurt him, and he knew he'd hurt him. He stayed on him, and ripped him up, destroyed him.
I think Makabu seems okay. I think he wants to get up, but they're just as a precaution, they're keeping him on the floor. But he looks alert, thankfully. But those were huge punches that he was forced to take there. What a terrific performance from Tony Bellew.
Really was a career performance, and Bellew is leaning over, leaning in closely, just making sure himself that Makabu is okay. Makabu is answering him back. He's responding. I think Bellew is relieved and happy about that, and he's moved away, embracing some of the Makabu team, and you can see their disappointment. They came in here with such hopes and expectations. Their dreams have been ruined. Bellew's have been realised in spectacular and stunning fashion. They're now getting into his stall. And again, we hope this is all just precautionary. And they can take as long as they like to get Makabu where he needs to be. You can see little Dave Caldwell there in the middle of the ring as we just go back and look at Makabu. Did you see that, Jim? He was wiping away tears. The little tough guy, wiping away tears. That's what it means to him. There he is with his back to us, walking away.
Yeah, well, he comes in with the reputation of being the puncher, 90% knockout ratio. But as I said a few seconds ago, he calls himself Tony Bomber Bellew. Well, those were bombs he was throwing tonight. Terrific punches. He saw his chance and he grabbed it. Being on the floor in the opening round, disastrous start, puts that out of his mind, and then puts in a performance like that. Terrific. Spectacular was the word you used, and that just about sums it up, Nick.
And by the way, Jim, he was told, wasn't he? Dave Caldwell said to him, don't entertain the crowd, go out and get the win. Well, he didn't listen. He put on one hell of a show, and that's what impressed me there. He saw that he'd hurt him, Jim. Even though he'd fallen into the trap earlier, he'd seen what had happened, and he was ruthless and clinical. The family in the ring with him. Very much a family man, Tony Bellew, like so many fighters are, sharing the moment with those that mean the most to him.
Well, I'm sure
Rachel,
when the first couple of punches landed, Tony would have felt those in his shoulders. He knew they were big punches. He knew they'd landed cleanly. He knew Makabu was in trouble. To his credit, Makabu was throwing back, but maybe he should have been covering up and grabbing hold. But he was the puncher. He's used to knocking other people out. He's not used to being under pressure. And this is the nice part of boxing, isn't it? I mean, this is what people do not understand about this crazy business. It's a sport.
So much.
Look at that.
Can't be friends before because I think you're a lovely guy and I don't want to be friends before. You'll understand I respect you so much. I have so much respect for you. Look at me. I have so much respect for you. I appreciate it.
There are people on the fringes of boxing who somehow think Tony Bellew is a bit of a bad guy, you know. How can you possibly think that when you see and hear a gesture and words like that? What class from Tony Bellew. And I think Makabu is as much mentally shattered as physically. Let's have another look at it again.
Well, Tony was throwing meaningful punches. That is the punch he probably felt it was getting him the result. He knew it was clean. He'd forced Makabu onto the defensive again. His body weight is back, so he's not going to get power into his own punches. Terrific shots from Tony. I was worried at the time that maybe he was taking too many chances, but not completely. The opposite was true. There, a good left hook. Just knocked Makabu onto the defensive. It caught him a little bit high, but it's troubled him. And from that point on, Makabu really couldn't get any purchase on anything that he was trying to do. His legs, his balance gone, pushed back against the ropes, body weight behind him. And Tony just so cool, looking for the spot. I mean, natural punchers, when they see a chance, they go for it. Tony saw his chance and he went for it. Oh, terrific shots.
Yeah, really, really impressive. We were hoping to hear from Carl. It was all over so quickly, but yeah, let's bring you in now, Carl. Your assessment of Tony Bellew and that performance.
Well, he caught Makabu with a great shot, got him over to the left hook, and then he jumped on him. And I like to see fighters go for the finish, especially when they can punch, like the bomber Tony Bellew can. And I think he did absolutely the right thing. It could have gone wrong for him, it could have gone either way, but this is what I need to see. I like to see people in a world title fight go out there and grab that title. Terrible start for him to recompose himself. As Jim Watt pointed out, it wasn't such a devastating knockdown because he was caught square on. He did a backward roll, got onto his feet, he recovered straight away. But to come out in the very next round and put this on, just unbelievable. Great performance by Tony Bellew. And you know, Makabu's a good little fighter as well, dangerous, and just fantastic. I can't get my words, I really can't. This is just phenomenal.
But again, it shows that Makabu, if he lacked one thing, it was experience at a high level. The best name on his record, a 45-year-old Glenn Johnson, who was at his best many years ago. You know this, tough man at super middle, not at cruiser, and I don't think he'd ever been hit as hard as that.
Well, the lack of experience as well. I mean, he should have really tied Tony up, grabbed hold of him, done anything, or even taken a knee, but he stood there with his chin in the air towards the end, and he was getting hit with clean, flush shots, and it was just an absolutely devastating performance from Tony Bellew. And he's a puncher, and he landed some clean, accurate, heavy bombs, and that's the result you get. And just had Makabu, he's sat on his stool now, he seems to be recovered. He looks the part, he looks okay, he looks recovered, and Tony Bellew was there, and we saw them amazing scenes. Boxing, that's what boxing's about.
And what it means to him, and what it means to the man he's hugging there, Bill Kenwright, the chairman of Everton, one of the men who made this dream possible. They set it up for Tony Bellew, and Bellew delivered in style. An extraordinary night, a very emotional night. Makabu, by the way, still on his stool. I just don't think it's sunk in.
Yeah, I think there's as much his heart and his spirit is broken. He can't believe this. You know, he's been in top throughout his whole career. He lost his pro debut, but since then he's been bowling people over. He's been the man in the driving seat. He's never found himself in this position, and you know, he's obviously broken-hearted at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Victor Laughlin calls a halt to this contest. The official time, 1 minute, 20 seconds, round number 2. The dream has come true for this fighter from Liverpool, England, here in Goodison Park, Liverpool, the winner, and new WBC cruiserweight champion of the world, Tony
Move over, pretty Ricky Conlon. Tony Bellew, real life world champion. Crowning a wonderful weekend for British boxing. After Ricky Burns last night, a win double. Stunning, spectacular. Any superlatives you like, he's earned them tonight.
Wow, better than the movie. Tony Bellew is the WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World, knocking out Ilunga Makabu in the 3rd round. We'll hear from the new champion after this break. Tony Bellew is on top of the world, getting up from a first-round knockdown to knock out Ilunga Makabu in sensational style. What a night for the bomber. Absolutely incredible. And let's see if Andy Scott can grab a word with the new WBC cruiserweight champion of the world.
Tony. Tony Bellew.
Thanks, man.
Yes. They say fairy tales only happen in the movies. You've just got up from a first-round knockdown.
That's what I do.
At Goodison Park as a lifelong Evertonian to win the WBC cruiserweight title of the world. Put it into words.
I told you, I'm Everton. I am Everton. And that's why I got up. Nothing was going to stop me tonight. Andy, you know what? I can't put it into words. My son's never been to a fight, and I came out of here at 7 o'clock tonight when I arrived, and I seen my son, he's never been to a fight, and actually cried in the dressing room 2 hours ago before the fight, because he broke me heart when I looked at his gorgeous little face. He looks like his mother. But it broke me heart. But you know what? I've achieved the dream tonight. All them people out there, they fish eyes. You said I couldn't do this. Well, I've done it. I am world champion. That's what I am. I am world champion.
If you were going to do it, it seems you were going to do it the hard way. On the floor in the first round, a nightmare start. What was going through your mind at that point?
Do you know what, Anne? All as I do is I believe in me coach. And I believe in all these people around me. They always hide. The Russian, Fran, they always hide on me because they don't want to see him by cameras. But me dad, Rachel, me missus with me, me sons, I do it all for them. And Dave, without Eddie Hearn, without the chairman Bill Kenwright, I couldn't have done this tonight. So much credit has to go to them. Listen, the only thing I really have to say is Everton! 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 Listen to that. Have you ever seen anything like that? And do you know the last time I seen that? I was in a Hollywood movie. Now it's real. It's real. Michael Buffer's here tonight. Eddie's made it happen. I've lived the dream tonight. Nothing was going to stop me, and I've just beat the best cruiserweight in the world. I'm the best now. I'm the best. I don't care what they all say. I'm the best cruiserweight in the world. Dennis Lebedev, I ain't coming to Russia. Come and get this, baby, because I've got the main belt now. I'm the man to beat in this division. Come and get this, or that bitch from Bermondsey, I'll fight him too. Come back down to your natural weight and fight a real cruiserweight, because you've gone long enough fighting them clowns on that joke channel.
I know you're hyped up. Apologies for the language at home. Ilunga Makabu came here with the knockout percentage and the reputation as a dangerous knockout artist, as a southpaw as well. But did you always feel that you had the power at cruiserweight to score the knockout yourself?
I've always said from day one I'm one of the biggest punchers in the division, and I never get given credit. No one's done that to Ilunga Makabu. No one. No one. I am the best cruiserweight in the world. I have proven it tonight. I am the best cruiserweight in the world!
Were there times that you didn't think that you would become a world champion? You had 2 failed attempts, albeit at light heavyweight. Did you always feel that you had it in you to become a world champion?
I'm going to tell you something tonight. This is the only fight. Johnny, baby, you believed and you said it, but not in that fashion. Do you know what? I'm going to say something tonight. This is the only fight in my whole life I've gone into, and I've dreamed for 3 weeks that every single time I lose. And I've dreamt that every week, and my missus has said to me, stop being negative. But you know what? I've won. And I told everyone here, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know when it's going to come, but I'm going to win. And I've won. I'm WBC champion of the world.
After that first round knockdown, your trainer Dave Caldwell said you got greedy, but it seemed that you gambled in that third round, and were you glad that you did?
No, do you know what it is? Every time I hit him, I knew he could feel it. I told you all every day this week, there's not a man I've shared the ring with, sparring or boxing, in fights I haven't hit. When I hit them, I get a reaction. I caught him in the first round and I got a reaction. I touched him to the body, he winced a little bit, and then I think it was a left hand that dropped me. I seen it coming, but it just broke my nose immediately as soon as it landed, so I thought, aye, it's time to fight. Get off this floor, lad, because there's nothing keeping me on this floor in this park. It can't happen. It just can't happen. King Kong and 25 other men couldn't keep me on the floor in this park. When I'm fighting in this park, I'm the closest thing to unbeatable in boxing since Floyd Mayweather.
Let's see in Goodison Park. Come here, coach. Trainer Dave Caldwell, if you had any hair, I'm fairly sure you would have lost it at the end of the first round. Talk us through the tactics and how the game plan had to change after that first round knockdown.
Well, listen, I'm a bit speechless right now. I don't know what to say. He done it tonight. He done it the hard way.
I've done it with you on the arm.
We always said that if he leant forward and he gave him too much, he stayed in one spot, then Makabu was going to sling one at him. But he did it his way. He did it his own way tonight. Listen, I've got nothing to say. It's all about Tony Bellew tonight. Nobody understands how much he wanted this fight. Nobody understands what he puts himself through. You know, people just look at him and think he's a fat kid. He might not be body beautiful, but he's WBC world champion, and that's what counts.
He said earlier in the week, though, that it wasn't the perfect camp. It wasn't the best he's ever been. But that was enough tonight.
Yeah, he had a few niggles in camp. All fighters do, but he didn't moan, he didn't complain.
He's telling lies. I'm going to be honest right now. It was a disaster of a camp. I was in a hyperbaric chamber 4 weeks ago. I had a detached floating rib. I was in a hyperbaric chamber thanks to Dave Alcock, who looked after me and put me in that hyperbaric chamber for a full 2 weeks of breathing 100% oxygen in a submarine. That's what I was doing 2 weeks ago. I had a messed up left.
Apologies again. Apologies.
I had a bad messed up left hand as well in camp. Sparring, the only thing that went well was the rounds of sparred. But what I will say is, who cares? Because like I said, I come here tonight, I make no excuses. I come here tonight as challenger. I leave as champion of the world.
Just grab a word with your promoter, Eddie Hearn. Eddie, I'm fairly sure in the build-up you would have been fed up with the amount of messages and phone calls you got from Tony saying, get me to fight here. Are you glad that you did?
Do you know what? I just want to thank everybody at Everton Football Club, associated with the club. Bill Kenwright, the Mayor Joe Anderson as well. Without this, it wouldn't have been possible. Makabu said that this wasn't a movie. You couldn't make this stuff up. That was one of the best nights I've ever been a part of. And it to be long remembered for. I can't believe Tony Bellew's become world champion like that against such a dangerous fighter. We'll never forget it.
He's just called out every single cruiserweight that's got a pro licence at the moment, so I know it's very soon, but what next?
Listen, after that, he can fight them all, like he said. Lebedev in the unification fights, I think right now, it's a few beers. That's what it is. And I can't believe it. It's an unbelievable night. Thank you so much to everybody in Liverpool, Sky for backing us, and of course, the whole of Everton Football Club.
Thanks for talking to us, Eddie, and well done to Tony Bellew.
Well, what an incredible night. Apologies if Tony Bellew offended anyone there. He's obviously very, very hyped up, as you'd expect. We'd come back next week, wouldn't we?